This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/Run, Eat, Drink podcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going. And we thank you for your support.
Hi, team. I'm Fitz Kohler, one half of Team Noisy, and you are listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 216 and the very first episode in our 6th year of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I am your co-host, Dana.
Woohoo! Coming to you live from the studio using our brand new podcast mixer.
Yeah, I mean this is fancy. That's all I can say. Fancy. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
I can hear your applause.
Yes. We have sound effects.
Yeah. That means I can talk about hill work the way I really want to talk about hill work. Right?
Oh, that's because we have a bleep button now, everybody.
That is right.
We're going to maintain our family-friendly rating, and we'll probably be using on that her a lot.
Yes. As I talk about just those.
I haven't learned how to do the bleep yet, but we have a bleep button.
Hills. Those hills. Those hills. See? I have held myself back.
And I appreciate that.
And it's okay.
Tell me about those hills one more time, Amy.
Those hills.
Exactly. Broadcast professionals. This is what you all tune in for every week, everybody.
High class. It's high class. Year 6. Let's go.
We are so excited. Honestly.
Sorry.
And it's been a great month getting to revisit some of our favorite episodes from the show over the past 5 years. And in that time, we've done some groundwork prepping for year 6. And we have some great races coming.
We do.
That are going to take us all over the country.
So excited about it.
All we have to do is hope that the airline infrastructure holds up.
We do. So that we can hold true to our race calendar that's on runeatdrink.net and click on that run page.
Yes, you did a lot of work updating that.
I'm still not done yet. And
it's very pretty.
Subject to change.
It is subject to change, but we are working feverishly trying to lock in travel arrangements.
As you said, airlines pending, air travel pending.
That has been surprisingly challenging.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking about adding some stuff to the show about travel tips and all that. Right now, there's just a whole lot of cross your fingers when it comes to air travel. So
entirely true.
We understand that it's a little bit rough. Mm-hmm. And if we can find tips and tricks and how-tos, things that will help you ways to have a better air travel experience, we're going to bring them to you.
Yeah.
So
we're also going to bring you a great show this week.
We are. Our anniversary episode, which, by the way, if you have not had a chance to watch that episode.
Because it's video, hearkening back to our very first episode when we were a video podcast.
Indeed. Please go check that out. We hope that you enjoy it. It gave us an opportunity to reshoot episode 1 and revisit a great race.
Get you in front of the camera for that version.
I don't know about all that. Fantastic. But it did give us a chance to revisit that race. And I just loved being able to be back home in Tampa. And little did I realize that we were going to be almost back-to-back Tampa runs. Because this week we're talking about a race that we have covered in the past, but one that since we got invited to come to, we absolutely could not pass it up, especially when we get the opportunity to run with members of the Runcation Nation,
Jessica and Kelly.
And we returned to Tampa for the Richards Father's Day family fun run, walk, and jog for...
It's to raise money for the Moffitt Cancer Center there
Yes.
in Tampa. And it also highlights awareness for prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer. And of course, that race for us is so much fun.
So important to get checked for that, yeah.
Incredibly important and very meaningful for us and for many in the Runcation Nation. But it also gave us an opportunity to revisit a favorite of ours for food and beverage, and that is Ulele.
What can we say? Yes, we have covered Ulele and Ulele Spring Brewery on the show before. How could we not share with you some classic favorites from those past episodes, plus some new entree to enjoy?
Yes. Sometimes we like to revisit locations to check in on them post-pandemic, make sure they're doing okay. This one in particular, because this race is hosted by Richard Gansmart and the Columbia Restaurant Group that owns Ulele. The race begins and ends on the grounds of Ulele.
Perfect.
It fit in. So it made perfect sense. And honestly, if you are looking to do some travel to the Tampa area, whether it's going to be to, I don't know, maybe next year, cheer on the Bolts for potential victory as they try again for the Stanley Cup.
Tough loss.
Tough loss this year.
Tough loss.
Maybe you're a football fan and you're wanting to cheer on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the team that's playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Of course.
We'll allow it.
Just like we'll allow you to root against the Bolts.
Exactly.
We've heard this in our live chats. We know this is true.
We know that there are one or two
It's
of
fine.
you out there that make bad sports choices, and it's okay. It's okay.
You have to root for your hometown favorite or what's in your heart. We just happen to be, Dana just happens to be from Tampa, born, raised, and he's got to do it. We've got to do it.
Yes. So, having said that, if you're going to be in the Tampa Bay area, we want you to have some food and drink options. It's very nice when that can dovetail into one location.
There are so many wonderful options.
And this race, if you happen to be traveling to that area, let's say you're taking dad on a trip for Father's Day. Maybe you're heading down for sports. Maybe you're heading down for recreation. Maybe you're heading down to some of the natural beauty of Florida or some of the theme parks in the area like Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, or heading over to Disney 90 minutes away.
Oh, I was going to say the water park Adventure Island. Is that still a thing?
I don't know if it's still a thing or not. I don't know. I don't know. We haven't done a water park in forever.
I can just remember it from when I was young.
Me too.
Really young. Speaking of, fathers and celebrating Father's Day. And I think it's very appropriate that this week's episode is a recap of a Father's Day race, because this Saturday, I'm talking about shoutouts. Yeah.
Oh, you've moved us on to shoutouts. Okay.
Well, I'm interweaving shoutouts.
You're segueing.
This Saturday,
as we record,
my father will be celebrating his 80th birthday.
And that calls for applause if I can figure out how to make it work.
We need bigger applause for his birthday. We have to work on that. We have to get another button.
I'll work on that.
Sound effects. But so happy birthday to my father, Joseph Rolls. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and here's to many more.
Absolutely.
We love you.
Happy birthday. So you've started with shout outs. That's the most important one. What other shout outs do we have for this week?
Well, JoJo did a 5K this past Saturday, or this past 4th of July weekend, rather, I should say.
Very nice.
All decked out, sporting all of her, in her Runcation Nation bib boards and just all red, white, and blue, just magnificent.
We also had our friends from the Cape Coral Running Group do the Freedom 5K. It's one that we've covered here on the show. It's a local holiday 5K race that takes us over
Talk about
the bridge
work.
here in Cape Coral. We didn't get to do that one this year.
Nope.
But the group, Dan Rams and a bunch of others, got out there and really represented. So congratulations to the Cape Coral Running Group for doing that.
Yeah.
We've run that one. It's a great course, but it's a warm one.
Mm-hmm. Humid. As our friends from the Will Run For podcast would say, soupy.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Congratulations to anybody who accomplished a goal, ran a 4th of July race, anybody that we might have missed. You can always let us know about shoutouts. You can email us or call us, and we will make you Runcation Nation famous.
You can send that email to info@runeatdrink.net. That's info@runeatdrink.net. Or give us a call at 941-677-2733. Leave us a voicemail, and we will make you Runcation Nation famous.
Indeed. There's one final shout out. I really do have to say thank you to Mr. Michael Kilgore. It segues beautifully into the first segment of our show, the running segment of our show, as we recap Richard's Father's Day family walk and jog.
Mm-hmm.
He tagged me on Twitter, tagged us at Run Eat Drink Pod, and said, we'd love to have you join us. Come, bring your crew. And at the end of the event, members of the Runcation Nation who attended with us just looked at us and said, yeah, it's a VIP experience. So thank you to Michael Kilgore for
Absolutely. That. Yeah, for sending us the race entries and making that possible. We've covered this race on the show in the past, and it really is one that we enjoy going to every year. Last year I did this as the capstone race that we were training for. I did a virtual training series over the summer where we did the Jeff Galloway run, walk, run method, and everybody got to run and train along with me. And then that day ended up being the final race. And it really illustrated the efficacy and how much of a difference even a very brief run segment can make in your overall time. And this year, we didn't have that training series. The weather here has just not been, it's been predictably horrible as far as being able to schedule a time for me to run and do a live stream where there's actually light out. The only time we can count on the weather here lately being any good, it's too dark that early in the morning. And then I have that pesky day job that gets in the way. So
I think we've had rain that interrupts our runs more often this summer, or it feels like that. Oh no,
it absolutely has been. And just horrible lightning. And I mean, they had green skies somewhere up the country. I've been seeing that on my news feed. And,
really?
Oh yeah. Weather's been crazy this summer. So we didn't get to do that, but we did get to do the race, and we had the opportunity to have some people there with us.
Yeah.
And really, we use that as an opportunity to just bond with our listeners and members of the Runcation Nation, Jessica and Kelly. And it was just a wonderful time. Much like years past, you start out at the restaurant, Ulele, which is right near the Armature Works in Tampa, at right at the foot of the Tampa City or Riverwalk.
Yes, the Tampa Riverwalk is beautiful, especially at night.
Yes.
Just gorgeous.
With the lights on the bridge and the lights from the businesses.
At sunrise. Oftentimes we will, when we're visiting family, go up to Tampa and walk along the Riverwalk and live stream on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a tradition because it's just so beautiful as the sun rises.
And it's just a very well-maintained, well-traveled linear park right in the heart of downtown Tampa.
Yeah.
So it starts and ends at Ulele. It's an out and back course, 1.5-ish miles out, turn around, come back. You're right along the river the entire time.
And there's no time limit. It's a family walk and jog. So you will see dogs, you will see strollers, you will see families doing it together, friends, groups. Certainly, you'll have runners who actually run along the Tampa Riverwalk, but there's no pressure for anyone. It's an untimed, you can have a leisurely pace, enjoy the view, enjoy the sights and sounds, and get to know people along the course. It's the volunteers who tell you where you are. You could do a 1 mile, or you could do the walk, jog, the full 5K.
Yes.
Totally up to you. There's one water stop, and there's water that they handed out at the very beginning.
Yes, because you're running along the Hillsborough River in downtown Tampa, one thing to keep in mind, especially since it's in a summer month, is that it is warm early and it starts humid and ends humid because you're on the water running.
Yeah.
So hydration is key.
Yeah.
I'd also say that with this race, I don't know that this would be the best race to try to go for a PR because of you have a mixed use path that you're running along. It can get a little congested.
Sure.
And we did experience that even last year when we were using this race as a culmination of that training.
It's very well attended, and the support for the Gonsmart family, the Columbia Restaurant Group, and for Moffitt Cancer Center is such all around this event. The community support and everybody who comes out to do the race, the run, the family-friendly event. It can get a little crowded on the course.
Yeah, and they try to say, hey, walkers to the back, runners to the front, like you would expect. But when you get there first thing in the morning, you've got this kind of party atmosphere. You're out there on the AstroTurf lawn of the restaurant. They've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a setup. You've got the Rough Riders out there. You had all of the sports mascots for all the Tampa Bay teams there.
Yeah.
It was fantastic to see. And we had the opportunity to have a Buccaneer talk to us at the opening. We had a little address from Richard himself.
I was so glad he was there. If it's not him, then it's a member of the Gonsmart family that addresses the crowd each year. And this is the 9th year they've had this event.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. The meaning that the love, the passion they have for supporting the Moffitt Cancer Center.
Yeah, and Richard tells his story about his own diagnosis as part of his address, and it really brings it home.
Early detection.
So he's very much a believer in this cause, and this 5K knocked it out of the park.
Yes. They talked about it at the address before we even started the race. It's the 9th year, and his goal is by the end of this year to raise $1 million for Moffitt. And this event brings the 9-year total to $900,000 and $150,000 over that, actually, this year because, as you said, one of the Tampa Bay Bucks got on the mic and said he was donating to push over that threshold.
Yeah, I don't remember what his total dollar amount was.
$10,000, he said, something like that.
Yeah, it was many thousands of dollars. So that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And his speech was great too.
Such positivity, yeah.
But it's just such a fun little event. They've got the inflatable arch at the beginning and the end. That's your start and end point. They send you out, and we got to go hang out with Jessica and Kelly.
Yes.
And we basically, we spent that time about 45 minutes or so, just at total out and back. And we really were just spending a lot of time catching up with them.
Yes. And we were there to honor and remember our fathers and to honor the members of Kelly's family who have battled this disease.
Yes. And we didn't know that going into this.
No, it was so meaningful to find that we had members of the Runcation Nation that wanted to come, that asked to come, that we invited to show up, that have a connection to this race and its purpose.
Yeah. And I loved at the end of it where we were talking about what'd you think of the race?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
Well, they said, well, at the end of the race we didn't even talk about the post-race party.
We're not there yet.
But at the end of the race, they both looked at me and said, we feel like this is an every year event for us.
Yeah.
We want it to be an every year event.
I love that. Yeah. Love it. So, okay. You've alluded to it. Now we'll talk post-race party. We've talked about the cause. New shirts this year.
Yes. And red.
Yeah.
Last year they were a green color. And this year they're red. They're in the episode artwork. And there was some artwork as part of the design of the shirt.
Yeah, I really like the shirt this year. They did a great job with it. True to size. Absolutely no complaints about it. In fact, I ended up changing into that shirt after the race because it was a clean, dry shirt because it was very muggy out there.
Scenes from a it was a red shirt, and on the front of it says Richard's Father's Day Family Walk Jog 2022, step by step making a difference for Moffitt Cancer Center. But in the background of that message, it's just scenes from the Riverwalk, scenes from Tampa. It's beautiful. And it's got long sleeves, but it's an athletic shirt. It's a light
tech shirt. So it's the moisture wicking material.
It's got that waffle kind of
texture.
Yeah. And I think it'll be great to wear out and about. It's not a typical color that you see. The red.
Right.
It's unique.
Yes. And like I said, great job on the artwork. Great job on the shirt.
Yeah.
I am a bit of a running shirt snob. Not every running shirt we get from races survives. The many get voted off the island. This one is going to stay in the rotation for quite some time. So
yeah, I really like it this year. It's great. And if you want to participate in this event, you can. It's going to be the 10th year next year.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the design for the shirt?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And that's richardsrunforlife.org, which I linked to in the show notes. But if you didn't make it to this, its sister event or the event that preceded it is Richard's Run for Life in Ybor City.
Yeah.
Which is a nighttime party in November.
Yeah. That's a November race, nighttime event. I want to do that one.
I want to do that one too. It's the first weekend in November, and it has storied history. This event we just went to with Jessica and Kelly, it's coming up on 10 years. This is 20 some years. This is 20 year history, and even more donated to Moffitt. So, but Michael, when he said, yeah, come on back and bring your Runcation Nation. We'd love to have you again. And he said, that's a nighttime race. And there's some more serious running going on. And then there's some more serious partying going on after the race.
You are going to be in Ybor City. So the
and
opportunities for partying abound. They really do.
All of the restaurants in the restaurant group, Casa Santa Stefano, the Columbia, Ulele, Goody Goody, Cha Cha Coconuts, they're all going to be there for that post-race at night. And I can only imagine the smorgasbord of
amazing food. Yeah.
Delicious offerings.
Yeah. And getting to run through historic Ybor City where you have
beautiful.
A lot of the brick streets and the old buildings. This is Tampa's version of Little Havana. Yeah. It is just an incredibly beautiful area. And I would love to see that packed full of runners on an event like this. So I'm hoping that we're going to have the opportunity to get there and do that. Yeah, so I know that's going to be a tricky weekend for us, and we may have to we're going to have to sacrifice some sleep, I think, but I think it's going to happen.
I think we can get it done. I'm so grateful to Michael Kilgore and the fact that he invited us back. And this after party at the Richards Father's Day run, the lovely breakfast. And
I was going to say, I think that the two after parties are both very nice, but probably a little different. Whereas the one we're talking about that's coming up in November, that's going to be a nighttime event in kind of a party district in an old historic area. Yeah. This was more of a casual family breakfast.
Yeah, we had some eggs. We had there was some eggs and sausage,
yogurt, fruit, juice.
Oh yeah, like apples, bananas. We had a
full plate of food.
Water and juices and just and you wait around long enough, you could walk right in there and have some brunch at Ulele.
That is true. That is true. And what was also very nice, speaking of waiting around long enough, we did wait. We shut the place down.
We did.
They broke down the event around us. We were so lucky to have some time with Jessica and Kelly at the end. Oh. We're sitting there talking. They've broken the race down. They're getting ready to get their restaurant going, and out comes an old friend of the show.
Yes. We were lucky enough to be visited at our table out there outside of Ulele, just right on the Riverwalk as we were enjoying our post-race meal. Brewmaster Tim Shackton and the man himself, Richard Gonsmart.
Yeah, they joined us at our table and hung out for a bit, and we were able to get a little sampling of the offerings from Ulele Spring Brewery, and we're going to be talking more about that particular beer in the drink segment of the show. But it was so wonderful to spend a little bit of time with them.
I need it. And I'm just thinking about it. I want it. So good. And
they got to meet them, or I say they. Jessica and Kelly got to meet them. We've talked about them both on the show before, and getting a chance to have them meet them. They were even coming away from that going, so passionate about the beer. And it was a really fun time to see listeners get to meet people that we've interviewed on the show.
And Tim, he ran in the race. We saw him on the course, and then he was right back at it as we shut down the after party. He had changed.
I say he had done a costume change.
He was.
Wardrobe change.
To the hard work of brewing some of the best local beer in Tampa that we've ever had.
Indeed. But after you do a run like this, and you are going to link to everything in the show notes.
Of course. Naturally.
But after this race, we worked up quite an appetite.
We did. So we just couldn't stay away.
No, if you're going to Tampa, if you're going to be doing this race and you've never been to Ulele before,
you've got to do it.
Do yourself a favor. We're not saying that because these folks were kind enough to invite us to the restaurant or to the race. We are saying this because the restaurant is just that good. This is a restaurant that focuses on fresh, local, Florida native food. They do have some other things that they offer on the menu, but their emphasis is on Florida native cuisine.
Even plant-based.
And they now have some plant-based offerings.
Although we did not partake in that this time, it's good to know that those Florida fresh ingredients are used in a variety of ways on the menu to create such flavorful meals.
And we went into the restaurant with some of our recording equipment.
Oh, we did.
And we wanted to record the experience for you in the moment.
And we did.
So here is our take on some amazing food from Ulele.
Hello. We're at Ulele. It's one of our favorite Florida restaurants here on the Tampa Riverwalk. And we're starting out the meal with the char-grilled oysters. Let's just barbecue grilled, garlic butter, grated Parmesan, Romano cheese. I can't tell you.
Taste one and tell everybody. This is, I think, one of the most beautiful bits of seafood you'll get anywhere.
Come on. Ooh, it's so hot.
These are fresh off the grill. When they came to the table, you immediately, oh my gosh, look at that.
Okay.
On the bread.
Yes. Oh. It's a taste of the Florida seas. Briny, cheesy, hot, smoky, delicious. It's one of our favorite ways to start a meal here at Ulele.
Two of our fan favorites have arrived here at the table. First, we have the Alligator Hush Puppies, which contain alligator, country ham, bacon, fresh corn, onion with a honey datil and horseradish aioli. These are ridiculous, and I'm so happy to be having these. These are just the most perfect fried nuggets of deliciousness that you could ask for. Crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, not dry. It has a wonderful bite. You've got the smokiness and saltiness of the ham. You've got the, I guess, gaminess of the alligator would be the best way to describe it. Alligator to me is a lot like frog legs, but with a tougher consistency.
True.
Piping hot. These just came right out of the fryer. That wonderful cornmeal flavor that you get. That horseradish aioli is the one I picked up, was nestled in it. I want to get some of that honey datil. The horseradish aioli's got a nice creaminess, saltiness, and that spice from the horseradish. The honey datil is like a sweet aioli with like pureed pepper in it. And then there's an additional sweetness from the corn, the fresh corn that's in these as well. These taste like Florida.
Oh.
That's the best way I could describe those. And then the other item that's come to the table are some of our favorites, and these are okra fries. This might be the simplest item on the menu. It's simply split okra that's deep fried till crispy, and then covered with a squeeze of lime juice and kosher salt. And then, you know, Ulele doesn't do anything halfway. They house make their ketchup.
Yum.
House made ketchup.
Yum.
And again, a very Florida first, Florida fresh item. And that's what I like about Ulele, is that you get flavors of native ingredients.
Yeah.
Done so well.
So good.
Amy, what do you think?
Are you kidding me? This is just...
You love those okra fries.
I do. And the house-made ketchup. Come on. Oh, the lime. just brings out all the flavor of the okra. It's not the slimy okra that you think of when you think of gumbo.
No,
or
they
soup.
cook the sliminess out of it.
And they're so, it's smoky and delicious, and the ketchup adds a sweetness, and it's just a flavorful bite. It's so good.
Get in on those.
Oh,
Look at these monsters. These are easily the size of a golf ball.
look at the heat coming off of it.
Yeah.
It's the best hash bucket you'll ever have. Flaky, moist, crispy, foreign flavor.
All of the flavors in that, I think, are very subtle,
Yeah.
but they blend really nicely together, don't they?
It's just so good. And so the texture upon texture and then the flavors. Sweet, tart, spice. It's the way to go. If you just ate appetizers entirely, you would leave here so happy. But the whole entire menu is Florida and Florida fresh. Cooked the right way. With care and love and with tasty beer to boot that's made here. So, cheers to Ulele and to all they have to offer on their food and beverage menus. It's Florida done right.
We decided to split the steak sandwich, and I'm going to read the description before we get into the actual sandwich itself.
Okay.
The ribeye steak sandwich is grilled shaved ribeye, sautéed onions, blistered shishito peppers, crisp garlic chips, steakhouse aioli served on an amoroso roll. And you look at this, you've got the garlic, you've got the onion, you've got the blistered shishito right there, and amoroso roll. I love amoroso rolls. They're like a soft, it's like a soft version of Cuban bread almost. And they are great for like sub sandwiches. The smell of garlic is what you get immediately on this. Instantly, that beefy, the umami from the beef and the onion is what you get. Then the garlic and a little bit of tartness and a little bit of salt from the aioli. I'm gonna get the shishito here. The shishito pepper gives you a little bit of the freshness it's not a hot pepper, but it gives you that waxiness of a pepper and freshness of a green vegetable. And because of the amoroso roll is a tender bread, you're not biting and pulling all your contents of your sandwich out.
Nice.
The steak is melt in your mouth tender. So good. If you're looking for something to scratch that cheesesteak itch, this is a good option. I think that you'd be very, very happy here at Ulele going with the steak sandwich.
I really have to say a special thank you to Billy, our server.
Yes.
He was top notch.
Absolute rock star. Absolute rock star. That makes all the difference. Amazing customer service. And especially right now, a lot of restaurants are having a hard time getting good help. If you're out and enjoying a great experience at a restaurant, please take care of your service staff. They really are working very hard to make it a memorable experience. And Billy did that for us.
He was fantastic. Later on this week, he paused to go tell Tim we were in the restaurant so that Tim would come out and say hello when he was knee deep in the brewing process. He took time to come out because Billy told him we were there. Billy was patient with us, and like, we really don't know what are we going to have. And we wanted to have as much of the menu in terms of the classic favorites we love, plus new ones. he let us take our time and enjoy everything we had, from the starters, the appetizers, and even split the entree for us.
Yes.
So that we could just have an incredible experience all around.
And it really was from beginning to end. Please go check out Ulele when you are in Tampa the next time. This is going to be a place that's great for dates. It's great for families. Mm-hmm. Really, any type of an event. The space is amazing. The dishes, the drinks, the beer, absolutely incredible. You're not going to regret it. We promise you that. So check them out. Link in the show notes.
Of course.
And check out that beautiful episode artwork.
Oh, yeah.
And when you are at Ulele, you have to avail yourself of the opportunity to drink beer from Ulele Spring Brewing. But before we go on to that, we want to take a moment to say thank you to our patrons for supporting the show.
You've enabled us to improve our equipment. Even now, you are hearing us on a brand new podcast mixer that you enabled us to purchase and start off our sixth, count them, our sixth year of podcasting. Just started off in an incredible way.
Sounding as good as we can possibly sound. And that is due in no small part to you guys. If you are a patron of the show, thank you so much. If you are not a patron yet and you want some bonus content like behind the scenes footage that'll give you a good laugh very often and more.
You're welcome.
Yeah, really.
I'm just kidding.
No, check out patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Or if you're in the Podbean app, tap the button at the top right of the screen, and that'll take you to their patronage program. It has all of the same perks for each of the patronage levels.
This week, in fact, there will be bonus content from our visit to the Tampa area so that our patrons have the inside tips for the best ways to explore and indulge after races.
Even more tips, Amy?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'll have to check that out.
Our show will always be free, but if you want even more, come join us and check out the different levels. Become a patron today.
As always, thank you to everyone who supports the Run Eat Drink podcast.
Can we now talk about the wedding beer?
Let's talk about the wedding beer.
I mean, really.
Look, Ulele has a full bar. Okay. Absolutely, they have a full bar. But you know what they also have? A brewery.
Ulele Spring Brewery. Let me just, I have the...
You have the tea?
Ulele Spring Brewery menu.
Oh.
I have the tea?
The tea. Gonna spill the tea.
Oh, spill the tea.
Never mind.
The beans?
No, the tea. The info.
Yes, the 411.
Yes.
Oh. I'm sorry. It's just...
She's like, we're talking about beer. You're mentioning tea.
Spill the grain? No, you don't want to spill the grain.
You don't want to spill the grain.
No.
And you definitely don't want to spill the beer.
No. Don't. No, I would cry. Like coffee.
Exactly.
I would cry over spilled beer.
So what do you have?
We are going to take you back to our meal when we had wedding beer, of course, our favorite. So hard to choose, but I believe it is our favorite from the menu. Oftentimes, Tim Shackton will be at the Gasparilla post-race party.
Yes.
With some original beer from their vast menu. It is not all one style. It is not one note.
No, not at all.
He has a variety: lagers, ales, IPAs, stouts on nitro, specialty barrel-aged releases. Oftentimes at Gasparilla, he will be serving it up himself from a tent, Tim Shackton. Hydration Station Lager, for example, which is a Mexican-style lager.
little over 4% ABV, super light,
Yes.
crisp, clean, refreshing. That is not the beer we're talking about this week, though.
No, but they also have others on the menu like,
Green Cannonball.
oh, well, yes, of course. Rusty's Red is what I'm thinking of.
Rusty's Red.
Yeah, Rusty's Red, named after Richard's dog. Beautiful dog that we met when we met Richard for the first time.
Yep.
At Goody Goody. Magby's Honey Lager. So many of these beers Tim talked about on the video episode where we actually interviewed him the first time we ever came to the brewery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is early on in the podcast, but the video is still up in the feed if you want to go check that out.
Buckhorn Stout, named after a Tampa mayor. Buckhorn Stout on Nitro, like Green Cannonball IPA, like you said. Just so many different styles done so well.
And I think that's really the key. We've been to several breweries in the past, none that we've covered here on the show because we don't cover things we don't like or love. This brewery has a variety of beers. Their stable of beers are all very strong.
Award winning.
So
U.S. Open Beer Championships and the like, if you will.
So they've brewed a couple of beers. They've dialed in that process. They've got their flavor profiles down, and you get to enjoy the hard work and the payoff of all that hard work. We also recorded a little bit of our thoughts and feelings on this beer, and then I figure we'll talk a little bit more about it. But here is, I think, you talking about the wedding beer right there in the restaurant at the time.
I think I was too enamored with the beer, so we only got me.
So here's Amy's take on the wedding beer, recorded live from Ulele in Tampa. What are you holding there, Amy?
Oh, it's wedding beer. It's a fruited ale. I don't know what the ABV on this is. We've talked about it on the show before. We're here at Ulele. Tim Shacton, the brewmaster here, has talked about on our show. And it's an amazing beer. If I could have a whole barrel of it at home, my heart would be happy because it highlights the berries. It's not super sweet. Just sweet enough, but still light in body and refreshing. It's a perfect way to celebrate a run. Perfect way to celebrate Florida and Dana's hometown and the place we love so much.
And look at the color on that beer. It's like a deep amber, almost a red. It's slightly cloudy. Like you said, this is not a super sweet beer. It gives you some of the berry aromas.
Yes. The berry aroma and the berry sweetness. And that is all. It's not sugary. You know what I mean?
I do, but you still get a nice bready flavor on this beer.
It's fantastic.
Very drinkable. Just so nice.
Cheers to Ulele.
I got to tell you, I am such a fan of this beer. If I were putting on my beer nerd hat, I would say this is a light to medium bodied fruited ale that does not lean heavily on sweetness.
No.
It's really more malt forward with just a little bit of hop, and you get the aroma of the berries that he's talking about. You don't get... It's not like a cider or a beer where they added the fruit real late in the process and added a bunch of sugar to it.
On their website.
Oh, look at you.
It says,
what do they say?
The wedding beer is a traditional, unfiltered lager. Infused with a light blend of natural black and red berries. Fruit balances with a light malt in a delicate finish. Yeah, you said that off camera during the time that you were filming me, and we've just pulled the audio for us. So you can hear your commentary in the background as we wrap up the tasting of the wedding beer about it having a bready note. And it's true. It's not a dessert beer. It's a refreshing river walk must.
Yeah, I
to
would
me.
agree. It's light enough to drink during really hot weather, and it's got enough flavor and body to it to enjoy in maybe the cooler months as well.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe you don't want to go so dark to go to, say, a porter or a stout or something like that.
But if you did, they would have one that you could have.
Oh, yeah.
The Buckhorn Stout, the Buckhorn Stout on nitro is a creamy malt. Just, it's an oatmeal milk stout. Coffee and chocolate notes. You could have that in the winter months. But I say the wedding beer is where it's at.
I do too. Give it a shot. Again, we are going to have links to Ulele. We've got, I believe we got a photo of this beautiful beer.
Oh, we do.
On this week's episode artwork.
Oh, we do.
It is.
And you can tell in my face because my face is in that picture. You can tell how I feel about it. I love it.
And we made converts out of Kelly and
Jessica
as
they said they liked it.
Yeah.
I
believe they said they loved it.
Yeah. They like it. They love it. They want some more of it. Sorry.
So
just saying. And we have in the episode artwork, we have the shirt. We have Jessica and Kelly. We have the beer. We have part of that amazing meal and a picture with Tim.
We do.
It's what a great time. And I know we've covered this location and this race before.
Yeah, but I'm glad to get back here post-pandemic and give everybody a bit of an update. They are not slowing down. The food game is on point. The beer game is on point. You really can't go wrong if you're looking for a great location to go to.
As if you need another
Tampa.
reason to come and run Gasparilla in February.
Oh, yes. We'll have more to say about that later on. But for now, next week, we have a big interview to share with you guys.
Can't wait.
We're not going to say any more right now, but it's coming.
Stay tuned.
Do us a favor, though, if you would, and you are looking to improve upon your race wardrobe, head on over to our website, runeatdrink.net, and Amy has added a button at the top of the page. It says Get Swag.
It does.
And our friends at Pure Creative Apparel, Pam and Ariel, have done it again. We not only have the amazing 5-year logo, celebratory logo merchandise
Shirts.
Available.
Custom designed by Pam and Ariel.
We also have the much requested racerback tank tops available for purchase.
And they are furiously working on hats.
Yes.
Visors, hats, whatever they can
Coming
get
soon.
their hands on. Yes.
So check those out. Grab one. Sport your Run, Eat, Drink podcast swag and let everybody know that you are a member of the Runcation Nation.
Tag us on social media and we'll shout you out. Ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed the episode? The first episode of the 6th year of our show.
I hope so.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just sorry.
It's okay.
I was overcome. Carry on.
Now I'm all messed up.
Thank you for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.